Welcome to my channel, Life Documentary. In this video, we're going to be looking at 10 signs of a toxic workplace. Based on this topic, I also did my own research, and in addition to that, I'm going to be personalizing every point to fit into my own personal experience. Number 1, micromanagement and lack of trust. In a toxic work environment, you are micromanaged, and this is as a result of the fact that you are not trusted. I'll give you an example. In my own case, I had a boss who would criticize everything I did. Also, she would correct my PowerPoint slides, try to correct every single slide. Even at some point, she even tried to correct my chosen word and why I chose a particular word. And she made suggestions of why I should use her chosen words. So at the end of the day, the PowerPoint doesn't look anything like what I wanted to say, but exactly what my boss wanted me to do. Number 2, exiting employees are seen as a betrayer. HR and everybody else sees the person once they decide to resign and they put their resignations in as the enemy. In my own case, I was, avoided. Some of the employees didn't want to talk to me. I was treated like an outcast, as if I had done something wrong for putting in my resignation. Number 3, unhealthy work-life balance. Management have unrealistic work expectations for the employees. In my own case, my boss would love me to come in early, leave late, answer all emails promptly, address all employees, patients, families, expectation, and resolve all their issues, monitor the sensors, even on the weekends, every single day without having a break. At some point, she made me to come in on the weekends. She wanted me to come on the holidays. And eventually one day I fell sick. I got sick while I was still at work, and I was so sick. I was coughing very hard. I even to the point of throwing up in my office, and eventually I decided to go to the employee health office to get checked. And before I know it, I was COVID positive. I felt very guilty, and I had spoken to the employee health management, and I explained to them, and I asked for permission to work from home because I had explained that my job, that I was able to work from home. So they told me they didn't have any problem and I could. But then I went to my boss and I asked my boss, is it okay for me to work from home? Because again, I felt really guilty. I've only been at the job for a couple of months, and I didn't just want to have an excuse for falling sick. So I went to my boss and I asked her if I could work from home, and she of course agreed to it. And to find out that I had worked from home for 5 days, because according to the COVID orders at the time, I was required to stay off work and away from others for 5 days. Come to find out that I randomly checked my pay stub, and I found out that my boss had docked my pay for 5 days and actually used my PTO when I had worked from home. This was very devastating to me. Number 4, you are afraid of voicing your concerns. After giving my boss the feedback on how to better approach employees' issue, the reaction I got was that of a betrayal and lack of trust, as if I should always agree to my boss's views and ways. After this incident, I regretted giving my feedback moving forward, and I dreaded doing it again. At some point, my boss started treating me very harshly, and I couldn't take it no more. I remember her giving her a feedback on how she treated me. But of course, she denied it and she never took ownership. This marked the beginning of my victimization and rejection. HR quickly sided with the boss, and I was immediately deemed as the one with the problem. I was excluded from all activities, reprimanded in front of my peers, and treated like a stranger. Number 5, gossip and rumors. The management encourages other staff to gossip and carry rumors about other employees. In my case, after I returned to work from being sick with COVID, my boss called me into her office and shared with me what the employees have been saying about me. She described me in a very hurtful manner. She said the employees were saying that I was aggressive, blunt, and she described me in ways that I have never been described before. I will never forget that day. Not because I think I'm perfect, but because I know that they were spreading lies about me. I know this was as a result of their biases and one-sidedness. My boss wouldn't even listen to me. She wouldn't give me a chance. I remember crying my eyes out in that office that day. She wouldn't even look at me. This was also as a result of the feedback that I had given her that she never agreed with. Number 6, favoritism and politics. My boss began to alienate me, and I remember at a certain point, she locked herself in her office with her secretary, and they stayed there for several hours. I couldn't even have access to her to ask her questions. She began to distance herself from me and made me feel like nothing. My morale was low. My spirit became broken. I could no longer do my job effectively. I was treated with no respect and humiliated in front of peers and staff. Number 7, lack of progress and growth. I came into the job with lots of experiences, but after facing all these challenges, I began to lose my confidence and self-respect. I remember listening to my boss and one of the charge nurses as they talk about the Nigerian nurses who had bought their nursing certificates. As a result of this, I was questioned and I was asked to defend my nursing degree and certifications. My boss never supported me in anything I did. She one time told me that I worked in vain. She was quick to judge me and blame me when anything went wrong, but failed to acknowledge when I did anything good. Number 8, scolded for making mistakes. My boss will quickly blame me when things seems to go the wrong way. I remember one time when I wanted to do unit commitments. When I shared the idea with my boss, she quickly changed it and asked me to tell the employees to sign an individual commitment. This was not the way it was supposed to go. My original idea was to do it on our daily meetings or huddles and have employees sign every meeting without feeling threatened. But she immediately changed it and asked me to give the commitment to every employee, and this made them feel threatened because I was new and I haven't had that relationship with the staff. So they immediately looked at me like I was an enemy. She also tried to tell me to watch the CEDAR hours versus the care comfort hours and the census. But when this became complicated and the staff began to question it, and then the staff began to complain about it, she quickly threw me under the bus and acted as if she wasn't the one that asked me to watch those hours and make sure that we're meeting up with the CEDAR hours while we're using the CEDAR hours for the comfort hours. Number 9, no recognition or appreciation. My boss never said anything good about me. She never said anything good in front of the staff, what I've done or what I do. I even remember one day saying something to her, and she eventually tried to mention a little bit, and it was just a one time. And this would never have happened until I talked to her about it. Number 10, high employee turnover. When I first came to the job, there were more than 20 open positions, which I had to quickly fill. The nurse that was in my position at the time had stepped down to a charge nurse role. She had nothing good to say about the place or the boss. She was also one of the people that had made the place a very bad place, which I don't believe that she knew she was doing that. She was part of the problem that they had in the place because she has also been in that particular hospital for more than about 20 years. If you find yourself in a toxic workplace, please find your way out. Because as a result of a toxic workplace, you will end up having a mental breakdown and mental challenges. You have this life to live, and you must make the best decision for your healthy and sound mind. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.